Hello and welcome back. My name's Rose Mackay and we're back with the Geek Show. And with me is my ever faithful co-presenter.
Hello.
So today we're going to be, actually you may know, well actually no, you won't notice because you're not getting any visuals here, but we are no longer in Radio Cali right now. Unfortunately, Radio Cali closes over the summer, the one time of the year we actually have plenty of free time on our hands. So we've decided to try our hand at a bit of podcasting, which is going to be a bit exciting, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, what you don't see is the fact that we literally have a microphone plugged into a laptop in my dining table in my flat. So with paper just strewn everywhere and stuff. Yeah. It's a sight. You should be glad you can't see it.
We also didn't mess with our quick fake start yesterday when we couldn't figure out how the mic worked.
Yeah.
3 years of journalism degree and so far we can't figure out how mics work.
I mean, to be fair, it's because we don't use this stuff. It's because we usually have access to a radio station, but that's no longer possible.
No. Unfortunately, the cruel rays of summer have torn that away from us. So this is obviously going to be our format for the next couple of months. It's kind of crazy we get a couple of months off for summer holidays.
We've got shows scheduled up to September right now because they're going to be every 2 weeks. We've decided.
Believe it or not, we do have a meeting every now and again to discuss things. It may seem like this is unorganised chaos, but it's actually organised chaos.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought it though, would you?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, so this week's episode, of course, is going to be on Doctor Strange. Obviously, the latest movie coming out. We're not going to talk about. Well, we'll dip in and out of the old
Doctor Strange
one.
and the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah.
Yes, that's a long
Not to be confused
title.
by the 2016 one.
Is that just Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Marvel is loving its new long titles, I feel. Actually, a lot of movies are just really long titles, so you're like...
Yeah, no, actually. So how can you fit it into the poster?
I think if a movie's title is over 7 words, that's a problem, right? 7 or 8?
Yeah, because it would probably get a bit of a pain to put it onto a poster.
Yeah, we've got to feel sorry for those poor artists.
Your marketing and like on the side of buses and stuff, you'd have to just shrink the font or like format. I'm thinking it's too much now, but it would be a bit of pain.
Anyway, so let's just dive straight into talking about the latest Doctor Strange development in the MCU. So what were your overall thoughts about this movie?
I was kind of... I don't know. I was excited going into it. I saw it on the second day it was out, so I didn't see any spoilers or anything. I didn't see anyone's real reactions to it. And I went into it, I was excited. Yeah, it was enjoyable when I watched it, but then I came out, I was just kind of like, that's it? I don't know, I just felt a bit let down.
I feel like the marketing, especially the trailers, gave away a lot of massive plot points. Mm-hmm. Especially with, of course, the reveal of Professor X coming back. You know, we have our good old Patrick Stewart coming back to play a very iconic character, I would say.
Yeah.
But one of the things that kind of disappointed me is the fact that how excited would I have been to see that in the movie if I didn't see it in the trailer?
Here's the thing. They revealed that cameo in the trailer, right? So you're like, oh, who else is really going to appear? There was only one other character that I was kind of like, oh, okay, that appeared in it that we weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Talk about more of that later. We have a section on the actual Illuminati part, which makes me laugh to call it Illuminati. But it wasn't like, I know you shouldn't compare films, but it's the same studio, so it wasn't like No Way Home, where in the trailers and running up to that, we knew the villains were coming back. So and then obviously there was leaks of the two other Spider-Men, but when they did appear and then Daredevil appeared, we went nuts because it was things we didn't expect. Yeah. The fact that they revealed that Patrick Stewart's come back as Professor X in what looked like a street sweeper though, with a wheelchair. I know it's comic accurate, but I just couldn't not think about the fact he's probably just going to go down and clean my pavement after the film, you know?
Yeah.
It did look like that. I was like, oh, so who else is going to be in it?
Yeah,
this could be the perfect opportunity. It's Multiverse of Madness. We could finally get away with getting the X-Men in, like, fully. Or even, like, Deadpool. Like, Deadpool was a big rumour of being in.
Yeah.
And, no, we really didn't get any people.
I mean,
really.
One of the biggest, I don't know, disappointments for me. We're talking about a lot of disappointments here. It was a good movie, okay?
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I feel like I maybe need to rewatch it because I've only seen it once. It's not like No Way Home where I saw it 3 times.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, so it's more, maybe I do need to rewatch it. I think it comes out on Disney Plus at the end of June though.
I mean, I think the thing is I'm just thinking a couple of positives here. I think that Benedict Cumberbatch did a brilliant job at the character again. He's not had much time to develop his character in a sense. I've not seen him a lot. But I love the character of America. I love characters. Okay. I love the visuals again because it's Marvel. Marvel could do visuals till the cows come home or whatever, and you wouldn't get bored.
Yeah, but they kind of are over relying on CGI a bit.
I will say that I do feel a bit sorry for some of the actors having to get stuck in a green screen room for the rest of the days.
What just annoyed me was it's called Multiverse of Madness,
Mm-hmm.
and yet we only really saw 3 universes, and the one that they spent the most time in that wasn't our own universe was just basically New York, but just we didn't have air pollution.
Yeah, it
wasn't anything new. We saw briefly glimpses of other ones, like that Paint universe, the cartoon one. I thought we'd maybe spend time in it.
I know.
We saw 3+ America's universe slightly at one point in our memory, but yeah, I don't know. It just felt weird, and it wasn't like it was a new concept in Marvel and Multiverse. Mm-hmm. We already had it with No Way Home, and I don't know. Like I love the character Doctor Strange, but it kind of was weird how every single variant was played by Benedict Cumberbatch, where we literally had 3 different Peter Parkers.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because we had 3 different Peter Parkers like in films.
Yeah.
And just like, we don't really want to recast Stephen Strange in the other universes, but it kind of still makes sense to do that. I don't know.
I mean, I think the thing is you've always got to think, especially with Marvel movies, is of course the MCU and how the movie you're currently viewing plays into this whole massive narrative. And for me, I feel like ever since Infinity War and Endgame, there's not been much of a unifying factor behind the movies. They all feel very much disjointed. And maybe that'll be a great thing because obviously before then, in the first phase of Marvel movies, they were all felt very disjointed, but then they came together in a bigger story. But I'm not 100% sure how they could do that without creating a new Avengers.
Yeah, I think Marvel has taken the decision to shy away from team-ups and crossovers because now we also have the TV shows that are separate completely. Like, for example, Moon Knight. Nothing in Moon Knight is interlinked to anything else in the MCU right now. I mean, maybe it will later. I don't know if we're going to get season 2 or what, but Moon Knight was brilliant, can I just say. Best Marvel show. Let's put that out there, because certainly someone across the table from me has not seen it.
I'm sorry, okay, I just can't watch the Marvel TV shows.
But this doesn't feel like a Marvel TV show because it's so separate. It could be any TV show that just happens to be in the MCU.
You're still not convincing me. Let's move on.
Yeah, and also Rose refuses to watch Stranger Things, so that's another.
I refuse to watch a lot of things you recommend me, and then you do the exact same thing. So it's friendship, kind of.
I watched The Witcher for you, so.
I'm gonna get out a t-shirt. I watched The Witcher for you. Anyway, so I think that's kind of part 1 done, dusted. We've kind of given our overall thoughts.
We don't hate the film.
We don't hate it, but I feel like
it does sound like we hate it, but we don't. We do enjoy it.
We don't hate Marvel movies. We're just very critical of them, and that's because we love them.
We don't hate Marvel movies. Is there any Marvel film that I do hate?
I don't think so.
I can find a positive, I think, in every single one. There's a couple that if I'm going to ever rewatch the MCU, which I don't think I ever will because so many films and content now. I mean, if you want to be like a new Marvel fan now, God help your bank account if you want to. Well, I suppose on Disney Plus, but God help your bank account if you want to buy the DVDs because, or your sanity having to watch them all. But I don't think there's any one bad movie. I guess I've only ever seen Iron Man 2 and 3 once. I've never rewatched them. But even then, they had positive moments, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's just move on to part 2 now, shall we? Yeah, why not? So for part 2, let's just get into the nitty gritty of the Doctor Strange movie. So of course, let's just talk about Doctor Strange himself, Stephen Strange, which you said to me was a very strange name. I think it was just strange.
Notice the pun. Diabolical, that one, isn't it?
That was.
I'm so bad when it comes to that stuff.
That was a very strange pun. Nah, I'll stop.
This is really going to make people stop listening to us.
I know. Do they even listen to us anyway? Anyway.
If you're still here, thank you for putting up with us.
Anyway, so what did you think about Stephen Strange at the beginning of the movie? You know, being the sourpuss at the wedding.
So I was trying to get her back.
He was imagining himself shouting, "I object!" I imagine.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that him and Christine had a thing, to be honest. So when he was annoyed at her getting married, and then I also forgot that he snapped and I don't think she did. So
Yeah.
as far as I can gather.
I think that's what they're implying.
So I kind of get why I was sad that she was getting married, but can we just appreciate how cool the suit-up scene was though over the balcony?
That was
one of the best ones we've had. The
way he just sit through an awkward wedding.
Yeah, and he just walks over the cape. I was like, that was just so perfect.
Also, just the fact that he's a celebrity, like the fact that, you know, the person who stole Christine from him was like, let's have an autograph, please.
I know, I find it quite funny how he is so well known. I'm so used to when I was younger, superheroes I'd watch were always secret identities. They were never known, and I think it's really weird. Maybe I'm just being stupid and I can't remember films when I'm younger. Maybe I'm just too used to just watching Spider-Man.
No, you're right, there was a lot
but
of
there
secret
was a lot of
identities.
secret identities, and like Batman as well, and then, well, it's DC, but you know, like superheroes in general. And then watching the MCU now, where the majority of the superheroes are just known who they are.
Oh yeah, because they're all on the Sokovia Accords. Yeah, it's
only
awards, but no, it's
only a few of the older ones aren't.
Yeah, because they are.
The only one I can think of at the top of my head is Spider-Man. Well, he was revealed, but then, you know, No Way Home rectified that.
Yeah.
And a few other things. Is he the only one they don't know who the identity is?
I mean, I'm sure there's a couple.
Probably is a couple.
There's a couple here and there. I think Ms. Marvel, they are kind of hinting at her, trying to keep her identity secret.
There's only been episode 1 of that out, and
Yeah.
that was actually really good. I enjoyed episode 1.
Yeah, so what did you think of America? Chavez?
Chavez. I think it's Chavez, yes. I don't think it's Chavez.
Anyway,
Chavez.
what did you think of the character America?
I liked her. I actually was surprised that she was from another dimension. I didn't really know anything about the character. I didn't actually know any of her powers until I watched the film.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out what it was and I couldn't quite work out. I even googled it and I was like, I don't get this. Maybe mistake. But she can hop dimensions.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realise she wasn't from another dimension. She was from another dimension, sorry, which I thought was quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I liked her as a character. I think she was...
I mean, I rolled my eyes when I heard that her name was America. Is that an actual name? Please tell me that's not an actual name. You don't name your kid America.
There's her name.
No, but like, this is not an actual name in our real world, is it? That people
There's an actress called America Ferreira, I want to say her name is. Yeah, she voices Astrid out of How to Train Your Dragon.
Wow. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I rolled my eyes when I saw her name, but everything else I loved. I love this kind of... She's not a teenager. Is she? I don't know. She's like early 20s.
I genuinely thought she was about our age, and I think the actress is literally about... I'm going to Google her. I think the actress is about like 14 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I love that aspect, that
America Chavez.
she seems a lot older.
Oh.
But I love as well the fact that she's not too sure who to trust as well, because then that adds the tension in the movie that she's not... The
actress is 16
100%.
now, so
she's
she's
16.
meant to be younger. Yeah.
Wow, she is very mature then for her age. But then again, if you accidentally threw your parents through a portal to another dimension and then went into one yourself,
I really hope she finds it.
I'm sure that would make somebody grow up a little bit. I loved like her distrust of people. I think that kind of adds the tension in the movie. What can I say? I loved it. I loved her power as well, because when it's a bit like the time traveler's wife situation, you know, where like
that's a weird story when you think about it.
That is a weird story, but like it's kind of that vibe I got from her powers, is that she doesn't mean... obviously she does eventually, but like she doesn't mean to jump, she just kind of does.
Yeah, she can't control her powers until
the end.
Apologies, you just heard a car horn outside the flat.
The joys of podcasting in Emma's kitchen.
We did start recording this section and I had 2 minutes in, and then the doorbell rang. It wasn't even for me.
Damn it.
Someone in the building.
Anyway, about the side characters, because side characters can sometimes make or break a Marvel movie, because you need a good sidekick every now and again. Of course, Wong returned as... He's now the Sorcerer Supreme.
The Sorcerer Supreme, yeah, due to the technicality of Stephen Strange being blip for 5 years.
Yeah,
That's
they were like...
funny.
I love how they were like, yeah, it takes the technicality that you can't just blip in and out of when you want.
Because going into that film, apparently there's a big theory that Wong was going to die because Stephen Strange does become the Sorcerer Supreme in the comics.
Right.
So people were convinced, because you have to die to give up the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
So people were convinced that Wong was going to die in this film.
Thing is I think Stephen Strange doesn't mind being less than Wong, because I kind of always got the impression that he just was like, he was given the Sorcerer Supreme and he didn't really want it, or all his responsibility. He was like, oh, the paperwork.
Yeah.
But like,
I like Wong.
Yeah.
He's so funny. He literally has like a few lines per film, but the lines that he has, he just owns them.
Yeah, and he's like got a certain presence. Like when he's on screen, you're focusing on Wong. Anyway, so I think we touched a little bit on Christine, and she wasn't really in this movie as much.
Well, she was not.
I love
Christine
how
in Earth 616, which is the Earth that the. I had to Google it because I just do not know off the top of my head. But that's the general Earth that
that's
everything's in. But she's that dimension they went, or that universe they travelled to. She's in it quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I love how all the Doctor Stranges are obsessed with Christine.
Yeah, but I think that's just really weird because surely you'd be a different person in most dimensions.
I
Like
mean,
if the multiverse was real, there is no way there's an exact same version of me as I am right now, personality and everything in another universe. It's just
but the thing
unlikely.
is that, especially for the Dark Strange, that's what we're gonna call him. I can't remember what his actual version number was, but he must have had a different Christine. But because she looks like his Christine, he's more than willing to put up with any differences.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, would he probably would end up probably smashing against the nearest wall, but at some point.
Yeah, it was kind of weird having Christine, but it wasn't Christine. I don't know. It was bizarre. It was.
I'm quite interested. See if I died. That tragic day arises. I die, and you're like left without me. But then one day another me shows up.
Yeah.
But she's not like me. She's from another multiverse. She's got a little bit different personality traits. Would you be friends with her?
I don't know. It depends because I feel like it'd be kind of weird because I'd be like looking at the old you, but I wouldn't be.
You haven't got through the grieving process yet.
Yeah, but it'd be weird because it wouldn't be you.
Yeah, it would just be some sort of very weird clone almost. Like,
yeah.
I had to bring in Star Wars, but that's basically what would happen, isn't it? Yeah, you probably wouldn't clone me. I don't know. Actually, maybe you would. Maybe you'd like her more. Oh my god, am I now having a crisis on air? Yeah.
It's taken a strange turn.
Yeah, it has taken a strange turn. This is like one of the RE classes. Which actually, I'm not gonna lie, the whole movie felt a bit like that, especially with getting to see all the different multiverses. I'm not gonna lie, like you said, I would have preferred to have seen more, and especially ones that are more different from us, because the only one we really got to see was New York, but they recycle.
Yeah, that's the thing. The first proper universe that we saw that they stopped in.
Yeah.
It was the same streets and everything, but without global warming.
I wonder if that's Disney saying, trying to be like they're doing their bit for the planet, going, this is what the Earth could look like if you guys would recycle.
I found that's so weird, and I was just like, of all the places, this is where you said to go to.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see that paint dimension that they travelled through.
That looked mad. Also, I love the fact that America has been to some of them.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, the paint one is weird.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in that. I know. And then, because the third one we properly saw was the one that everything's kind of disintegrating.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one I felt like was the most horror element, actually, out of all of them. And I know people do say, well, obviously we'll bring up Wanda later, but people say that Wanda does bring in the horror element. I actually felt that the Dark Strange in the world that's crumbled and it's all decayed and decrepit, I felt that was more scary to be in because you weren't 100% sure when this Strange was going to snap.
Yeah, and then when his third eye opened up, I was like,
oh,
what the heck? The CGI of that was not the good best.
No, that wasn't.
It didn't look right.
Then again, you know that people aren't meant to have 3 eyes, so...
You've seen chickenpox scar on my forehead, it could well be a third eye.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm trying to think of any other multiverse stuff we should chat about. I like the idea of us traveling to these different places in our dreams, and
it basically, when you think about it, is that weird shifting metaphor. People say they can shift other realities in their dreams, which I think as kind of more just lucid dreaming. It's kind of weird, but it kind of just felt like that. Dream walking, where you could shift into your other dimension's body.
Yeah,
like Wanda does. It's really weird. Can you imagine you could do that?
Oh god, yeah. I mean, it's now made me terrified of any dreams that I have, but then again,
it's your dreams are your alternate selves. That was the other thing they brought up, and I was going, I have some weird dreams.
Yeah,
I
mean, I had a dream where I was kidnapped. I hope she's okay. But that, I don't know. I love all this theories though that come out of it, especially because we are now getting more movies with the multiverse being explored. I know we had that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once that does explore it. There was another one, obviously, I can't remember what it's called. There's been a ton of them that explore the multiverse, and I do love this idea that there is other universes out
Well, I
there.
mean, you've also got Stranger Things that has the upside down.
Yeah, which now makes me wonder, like, instead of doing space travel, can we just do universe travel instead? Like, how cool would that be? Mind bending, but cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be really weird. Can you imagine you met your alternate self though?
Oh my god, imagine if you met yourself.
And they're a lot cooler than you.
Oh my
And you just went, what went wrong here?
Now that's made me question, like...
They don't sit around and nerd out over stuff.
Oh my god, like, cool version of me is like, you know, riding down the street on a skateboard and like probably eating an apple just to look cool. I don't know, like, maybe I do want to meet cool me so I can figure out where I'm going wrong.
Straight A's at uni. Like,
Oh my god. Oh, this is like a rabbit hole now where we're just going to discuss the multiverse. Yeah, hello, welcome to the Multiverse show where we discuss what we could be like in other dimensions. So anyway, I think we've kind of explored the movie in a bit more depth there. So we're now going to move on to part 3 where we're going to talk a bit about our... I'm not going to say enemies, there were more obstacles that Steve had to jump over.
it's the way he said obstacle. I don't know what all I thought.
Yeah, so let's
All
just...
I thought was total wipeout.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of what it was. So let's just move on to part 3, shall we? Right, anyway, so part 3, as I was just saying there, Stephen Strange and the big red balls that he has to jump over.
I just thought it literally was a total wipeout. That's all I thought.
I mean, it kind of is when you think about it. We can make so many memes now about this. Yeah, but anyway, so his obstacles were, and I'm just going to list them right here. Of course, we had Wanda, who is just embracing her evil self. Or not evil self, just... I don't know what stage of the grieving process she's on, or she's probably on a different cycle right now. You know how there's 5 steps? Like, she's on, like, the villain's grieving process.
I loved Wanda in this.
Yeah, and of course we had the Illuminati as well. So yeah, let's just... I tried to make a long list, and I was like, nah, he only really
Let's
had...
talk about Wanda first.
Yeah, let's do Wanda. Let's do
I
this.
adore Wanda. I always have, and she's always been close to tipping into her villain side, and she is a villain in the comics.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, she's more villain X-Men stuff, but for some reason she's in the MCU. The X-Men don't exist right now. Yeah, strange thing that. So, the fact we finally got to see her as a villain was brilliant. Her line that she says, "Run," to that like soldier guy.
Oh yeah.
Reminded me of her like iconic line, "No more mutants." It just reminded me so much of that from the comics. I do know that one. That was really good. That was a good reference. And then also Elizabeth Olsen's acting was just incredible in this film.
You cannot say that she's not giving it 110%. But like I feel like as well, I love her 2 kids as well returning as well. Like
not the ice cream song though. That haunts my dreams. That
was a bit cringy, and I'm sure those kids will be bullied about that for the rest of their life. Child acting, kick people, don't ever go into it.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I loved that. I did feel like her was going to be a bit predictable, that the 2 kids were going to probably be her downfall in a sense, because like especially like I'm going to go and be their mother now. I was like, but what are you going to do with the other Wanda?
Here's the thing.
And are these kids going to watch this happen? Or are you going to just like slide in there?
Her motivation really annoys me. The fact that she was a strong character and that's what she's been boiled down to is her villain side because she wants her kids back. Why can't she not just magic them back into existence because she did in WandaVision? Or go to a universe where their mother died and just become that mother.
Or adoption. Adoption is a thing, right?
And also, where's Vision? Is Wanda a single mum in every single universe?
Yeah, let's just say Vision is a bit of a lame dad. He's not ever around.
No.
I mean, I like to think that he's probably died in all versions. Not like I like to
Well, I
imagine
don't
him
think he would
dying.
exist in the one that we did properly see because Tony Stark doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So therefore he would have been built because he was built in Age of Ultron.
That's true, because if Tony Stark's not around.
So Vision wouldn't
The
exist.
thing is though, if Tony Stark's not around, that means that Wanda has no reason to go forward for the experimentation, because the reason she does go for,
Yeah.
the whole the experimentation with her brother is because, she had that tragic incident in her past where, her house got blown to smithereens and she just had to stare at Tony Stark's logo.
Unless she was built... Unless, because this is the universe we have Patrick Stewart as...
That's the
X.
mutant.
It's the mutant one because that's what she actually is a mutant. It's the MCU made her experimented.
Maybe
Could be
you're
that.
right.
Or maybe it is a plot hole that no one's really acknowledging.
Yeah,
Could be that.
It could be that. I mean, the thing is like I said, it was kind of going to be a predictable thing where I was like, is she just going to pretend to be the mother? Because I'm pretty sure these kids can figure out who the real mum is quite quickly.
It's the way though she looked for the kids are hiding in the stairs,
Uh-huh.
and she goes, "Oh, I'd never hurt you two." And meanwhile, you're trying to murder their mum, so that's gonna hurt them.
Yeah, it's a bit of a like, you've not thought this through, have you, hun?
No.
It's just like, nah. Yeah, I feel like she's at step A and she hasn't like turned the page to see what step B is yet.
No, her actual motivation of that's what made her become a villain did annoy me, but her as the villain was
Also,
brilliant.
just the fact that Wanda's neighbours just aren't very good at looking out for her. We need Agnes back as the nosy neighbour.
I love it.
It's just the fact that her house is getting smashed up and they're all probably just like, yeah, they're probably fine.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
Anyway, so we obviously had the Illuminati who were probably going to kill Stephen Strange.
Oh no, the Illuminati.
I'm not going to lie, I thought the Illuminati was another letdown.
Yes.
Because we had Patrick Stewart, obviously. And can we just chat about the fact that he was like, yeah, we can handle your little witch, and 5 minutes later they're all smashed to smithereens.
Yeah, so we had the Illuminati.
Yeah.
The other shock reveal of the Illuminati was the casting of John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
Yes.
From Fantastic Four. That was a shocker.
Yeah.
But he was only in it briefly.
Mm.
Also, he's supposedly meant to be the smartest man, like, ever, really.
Yeah.
And yet he basically tells Wanda how to kill Black Bolt. Who, I did not know who Black Bolt was
Thing is
until I got home and
Black
Googled
Bolt
it.
is the result of a failed Marvel TV. You don't actually hear about the Inhumans TV show because it was such a letdown that Marvel has forever denied its existence.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. I didn't know he was from that, and I was like, who the heck is that?
I will say this, his acting has slightly improved, but he still can't pretend. Well, thing is, the problem I had with him in Inhumans, because I did actually watch that show.
Did you?
Yeah, one of the only
We
Marvel
watched
TV.
that, but you won't watch Midnight.
Maybe I'm just scarred by that show. Anyway, so basically for the whole thing, of course, because he can't speak, the actor is not very good at portraying any other emotion than stuck on the toilet, can't poo, sort of look. That's the sort of look he gave throughout the whole thing. And I get that he's trying to keep his mouth shut, but can we please tell him to stop pulling this face?
Oh,
Like, seriously, that is the look he pulled for the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, thing is, his power was definitely a lot more amped up. In the Inhumans TV show, he was a bit more like a loud megaphone that can be deafened folk. So this guy's full on exploding people's heads. So that was one thing I did like about it, because then it gave his power a little bit more threat. I'm trying to think of any other the Illuminati that the thing is I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm gonna come out here. I did not like the Illuminati. I thought it was a bit of a waste of time.
And they were such mismatched characters.
Peggy Carter as well as
was Captain Britain. I can do this all day. And 2 seconds later, she gets sliced in half by the shield. Don't think you can.
No,
Do it all day.
I'm trying to think of who the other one was. There's one other.
There was Monica Rambeau as like her version of Captain Marvel, which I thought was quite cool.
That was quite cool actually.
And then there was the guy that was in the first Doctor Strange film that I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the guy that was his antagonist.
Yes.
Had the magical boots or whatever.
That was, and is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it. There was only 5 of them. Yeah, I feel like we're missing out
It's
here.
just the fact that they were like, oh yeah, we can take care of your little witch, and then they all got murdered.
Yeah, horrifically. Which was a good visual. Not too sure I wanted to see it though. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the Illuminati. It felt like they were like, we need to make this movie X amount of time, and we're only halfway there. So what are we gonna do? And they're like, I know, we'll bring in the Illuminati, and they will explain their purpose, and then what happened to Straight. I don't know.
Some of their deaths were. I mean, I know you shouldn't laugh, but I kind of laughed at Reed Richards' death because he literally turned into spaghetti.
Yeah. The Illuminati was a bit of a letdown, especially because this is meant to be like the superhero organisation.
Yeah, I think they're meant to be more superior than the Avengers ever were.
But the Avengers took on Thanos and barely got a scratch apart from Tony and Natasha. But you know, that's what kind of... I don't think you'll ever be able to recreate the Avengers.
No.
You
can't recreate everything the Avengers has been and has become.
Yeah, and that's the thing
in
as
one
well.
film.
I think as well the issue is the Illuminati will always be compared to the Avengers. Like, they could try and give them a different name and bring them in from a lot of different universities and all that, but you'll never be able to actually beat the Avengers, which I'm sure is very frustrating, but well. Anyway, I think we've discussed Wanda and the Illuminati, so let's just discuss a little bit about the horror aspects of this movie, because that was kind of one of the main pulls for me about why I went to see this movie, is people kept saying, it is very gory, there's a lot of blood.
It's one of the, it
has a
if
lot.
I didn't I didn't like the plot or some of the stuff in the film, but the horror makes up for a lot of what I didn't like in the film. I like horror films.
I think it kept me on the edge of your seat.
To see that in a Marvel film was really good. And the thing is, it was still a 12 though, I'm pretty sure, the film. So it wasn't
too bad.
It wasn't scary horror, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
People think that horror just means
Blood,
terrifying
guts,
nightmares.
gore, yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just, it's playing with scary aspects of stuff. And it did it really well. I mean, the scene that sticks in my mind especially is when Wanda kills Professor X.
Yeah.
And her face goes into this weird ghoul thing briefly.
What's the scene where she's contorting her body and it kind of...
Oh, she comes out the mirror
Yes.
Yes.
It's crazy to me because that reminded me, I can't remember what horror movie villain it is, but that was a class.
Kind of like how, I think,
The Ring.
The Ring.
That was
the
it.
Ring.
It felt like almost, I'm pretty sure it probably was a reference to The Ring, and it felt horrifying to watch. Mainly because we're just so used to seeing Scarlet Witch be absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
But I don't think I was ready to see Scarlet Witch
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think the horror aspect made you feel uneasy about how Strange is going to get out of this, because I feel like a lot of Marvel movies, you know that the main character is probably going to survive and his sidekick is probably going to die. And maybe the love interest is... Actually, the love interest never dies. Or maybe his parents, it's never going to be actually the main character.
Ever died? Oh, well, I mean, Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy. Still not over that.
But I don't get any of the love interest. But that way there's a little bit of safety around the main character. This one I wasn't too sure if Strange was going to make it out alive. I kind of thought myself what's going to happen is... I think I shared this theory before I went in with you. I said, I think that Strange is actually going to get captured and held somewhere, while the evil Strange or a darker Strange will go back into our universe and will basically be there for the whole of the Spider-Man Far From Home. But mainly because the timelines are just so confusing to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure when this film's actually set.
Yeah, they're no longer giving us dates.
No.
They'll give us locations, but not the dates. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the benefits now, is that I'm not too sure when the timeline was, so that way I was like, maybe she's just about to die and we're going to get a new one or replaced, this and that. I thought it was going to be a whole lot darker.
I was worried that Wanda was going to die because I knew she was a villain, but she's not. And I will stand by that, because when the building collapses, the tomb thing collapses on her, you can see a flash of red. She's transported. There's no way you can kill a character like that in that way.
I think she's definitely going to be back. I don't know if she'll be back as a hero, a villain, anti-hero, that sort of thing, or just wanting to live her life.
I'm just excited to have Wanda back because she's one of my favourite Marvel characters.
I mean, I've never really paid that much attention to her. This movie has definitely changed my opinion on that. If she does appear in any other movies, I will definitely be paying attention and watching out for what she's going to be doing.
The thing that I really liked about it is she's been known as the Scarlet Witch, if you know your comic stuff, but she's had these powers. Now, because of WandaVision, she is the Scarlet Witch now. She does magic and everything. She's gone into her proper character of what she's always meant to be, which I think is quite cool. She's at the peak of her powers.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that kind of wraps up this section quite nicely. So we're just going to move on to part 4, which will just be giving us a little bit of a wrap up, and we'll just give our final thoughts. Yeah, let's make our final judgments on the Strange movie. So we're moving into our final part of today's Geek show. So I didn't realise that's how quickly today would go, because obviously we don't have the music breaks.
We don't get to share our wonderful music tastes.
Though we have decided we might make up a little Spotify playlist of all the songs we've shared with you so far. Maybe, if we can be bothered.
If we have time.
Today has been a long day. We've been playing around with mics and technology that we don't quite understand, but we'll get there eventually.
I don't mix well with technology.
No, me neither. I'm a bit like oil and water, if I'm honest.
There is some stuff I can do.
Yeah.
But other times I'm just going, if in doubt, just hit it.
The thing is, I was Googling it and people were like, download this app. And I was like, I will wait until I've bought myself some antiviral software, because
Yeah.
I am living dangerously on the edge right now, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I have no antiviral software, so I am free to attacks.
No, I am useless. I remember I used to have an old DVD player when I was back with my parents, and the volume went really weird, and I was watching a film with two of my friends, and I had to hit it to get the volume to go back up, and we were literally watching it at 100 and it was still quiet, and I literally was like whacking it like you whack.
Yeah, I am more of the IT crowd. Have you tried turning it off and on again? After that, I will usually email somebody.
I'm surprised you don't have that as a t-shirt or something like that.
I mean, I have my Matrix one. There is no spoon. I still have that.
Matrix, I mean the
The
Matrix.
Matrix, sorry, the Matrix.
I was like, Matrix, like the Matrix system, what? And then there's a spoon, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be making a couple more additions to my t-shirts of my different fandoms. I have been looking at Star Wars ones. I did go and buy myself a baby Grogu mug as well, because it was very cute, but it's very undrinkable. Like, you can't really drink it.
I managed to find a Hellfire Club shirt from Stranger Things, because they were selling in Primark,
Yeah.
but they just sold out so fast, and I managed to find one on Etsy for like £10. So that's currently on its way, because I love the Hellfire Club in that show. It's just, you haven't seen it. I just want to talk about it so much, and you haven't
We're
watched
going to be
it.
doing a Stranger Things show.
You're not
just not
in.
going to be
Yeah,
in.
you're not in that one, and you're not going to be in the Buffy one either.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be one that you can't be in, maybe.
I don't think we've watched
You'll
it.
fall down with food poisoning or something.
No.
Which means you
It's
talk
fine,
to
because
yourself.
I don't think I mentioned this early in the show, but because we're no longer in the radio studio, no longer restricted by the 2 people max thing.
You've got loads to look forward to, honestly. So, of course, let's just do a quick wrap up here. Of course, what was your final thoughts on the Doctor Strange movie? You know, did you like the different tones and different movie kind of making styles?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it overall. I didn't hate it. I think if I was to give it a score out of 10, because I usually work things out of 10, gives me more leeway, probably give it a 7. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't one of my favourites. I don't know, it's just because No Way Home was so good in what it gave us. And I think, and also it's because it explored the multiverse. I think if this had been the first film that explored the multiverse, I'd give it a higher score, because it's like, oh, the multiverse is a thing. Oh, this is all. Like,
do you think it would have worked better if Strange come out before
Spider-Man?
That would actually made a lot more sense, because then you could actually understand the multiverse. Anyway, that's another thought for another day. I honestly did think it was another. I feel right now, especially the Marvel movies, they're definitely taking a different approach to making them. They're now a lot more different. Of course, you can see that with the new Thor Love and Thunder trailer. Like, there's something completely different about them.
So excited for that film.
I am as well, honestly. But I think, I'm just thinking what we've had so far right now. We've had Eternals, which I'm not gonna lie, I loved.
I really liked Eternals.
I love that. I liked Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was amazing. That was like a lot more practical effects and practical fighting effects anyway. I'm trying to think what else we've had out. We've always had Spider-Man Far From Home. And I feel like all these movies are
because that's still Phase 4 Far From Home.
I like to think that these movies are all trying something different now. It's almost like Marvel in itself is kind of reacting. Who was it? Was it Martin Scorsese said that it's a bit like a theme park?
Something like that.
Somebody was saying that Marvel movies were a bit like a theme park, where you weren't really getting anything different each time you went. I would say that's completely being disproven, especially now with Phase 4. So yeah, I would say that Strange is probably another one that I'll rewatch. I feel like a lot of these movies I've had to rewatch to properly digest them properly. But hey, that's what I'm paying Disney Plus subscription for. So yeah, I think honestly, Strange is probably gonna get it's getting a B grade from me.
You grade it as in school grades?
Yep, it's a B minus really, but you know, it's a B movie.
I've never ever heard anybody give stuff a school grade.
Oh no, I give Marvel movies a school grade. Right now, none of them have failed. Black Widow did get a C, but like, you know.
I am in the minority of loving that film. I love Black Widow.
We have discussed Black Widow already. See, it's already out of my mind. Right, so anyway, if you want to keep up to date with us, especially if you want to hear what our next episode is going to be about, we're going to be posting obviously on our social media, so that is Twitter and Instagram. I was about to say Facebook, we don't have Facebook.
No, we don't know how to
But
work
that is
Facebook.
the Geek Show _GCU. So yep, you can just pop in there, you know, like, subscribe. We are, of course, Gen Zs, so we do love a bit of a like.
Are we Gen Zs?
We are Gen Zs, it's sad. Yeah, you wouldn't know this, listeners, because we sound like millennials. But yeah.
Definition of born in the wrong generation.
Yeah. God. Anyway, so we have that, obviously. We are going to be looking at TikTok. I'm not 100% sold on the idea yet.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how you work it completely, so
we'll figure it out. This is a brave new world where we get to enjoy all the different social media platforms.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, so next episode is going to be
Dairy Girls,
which is going to be an interesting one. I think that's a bit more of a lighter one.
There's going to be 4 of us potentially doing it, so it's going to be fun as well. And it's going to be a bit of a bittersweet one because we love Dairy Girls, but it's finished.
Yeah, I know, like, this is a kind of a rare case because a lot of the fandoms we talk about in this show are currently ongoing.
Well, later on we get in the shows might not.
So yeah, of course. So that's kind of us for today. So yeah, keep listening and keep watching us on social media because we need the views. Right, that's all from me. Bye.
Bye.